So health warnings and advisories, they are not stopping millions of Americans from traveling in the midst of the second wave of the COVID-19 crisis.
The TSA says an estimated 3 million people passed through airport security over the weekend. The travel crowds won't be as big as pre-pandemic numbers, but a lot bigger than a whole lot of us expected. So here with more on what we can expect over the next few days is AAA Northeast spokesman Robert Sinclair, friend of the Morning News. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning.
Good to see you. So you heard the CDC director here on our air this morning said do not travel, right? Last month, AAA predicted, 50 million people would travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. Where do you see that number in the grand scheme of things now that we're kind of in the thick of it?
Well, we had thought that perhaps that number might get even lower because those projections we did as a result of surveys back in the middle of October. And of course, we've seen the disease come roaring back since then, and a lot of people would drop off. And in fact, we did a survey of New Jersey residents back just 10 days ago, and 88% said they weren't going to travel. And then you look at traffic reports and traffic cameras, and it looks like the roads are just packed. So it's, this is a Thanksgiving like no other. Really hard to predict what's going on. It looks like a lot of people are traveling, though.
Yeah,
it really does. You crediting this to what the coronavirus fatigue that a lot of people are talking about? Yes, we understand that it's a dangerous situation, but at the same time, people are just tired and they want some sense of normalcy.
Well, in years gone by at this time of year, we would see just so many people travel. And, Americans get the fewest number of vacation days of any workers in the industrialized world. And that's why we would attribute all the heavy travel that we would see in the past. And there's probably even more pent-up demand, more wanderlust now with people being stuck at home.
Seriously.
So that's probably having a lot to do with it. And the safest way to travel, according to many health authorities, is by car.
So, we always talk about around this time, planes, trains, automobiles, right? What are you seeing as the mode of transportation? So we had the numbers in terms of air travel so far, but are you seeing more people rent cars, book train tickets, buses?
Well, without a doubt, automobiles. Our original survey said that probably 95% would travel to their destination by car. There doesn't appear to be much to be changing that. Though
Is that normal?
We did, as you've been pointing that out, that they would see that we were seeing 3 million traveling through the airports. That's the number of TSA checks. We had anticipated about 2.5 million would be traveling, but I think our numbers are different. The TSA is counting every time you go through a security check. We count, say, if you go from New York to Austin, you pass through Atlanta and you're flying, we count that as 1 trip. Some might count it as 4. Yeah. TSA counts it as 2. So the numbers vary in that regard, but a lot of people are flying and certainly a lot of people are driving, according to what we're seeing.
So that being the case, what are you suggesting as far as health concerns?
Certainly, we're recommending that you take a shorter trip, that you pack snacks, more snacks and beverages so you can limit your stops. If you do have to stop at a rest area, you need to be very careful. Sanitize thoroughly after you're using that rest area. If you have to pump your own gas, be very careful after doing that. Sanitize after doing that. And in fact, if somebody else is pumping your gas and you handed them your credit card, when they hand it back to you, sanitize that thing.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah, you cannot be too cautious these days. You have to count that. You just have to figure that everything you come into contact with has the disease, and be very cautious and sanitize.
Such a good point. Such a good point, because people think, well, I'll drive and that'll minimize my risk entirely. I got tested and now I'll make a 3-day journey somewhere. And then you never know what you're coming in contact. Robert Sinclair, always good to talk with you. Appreciate you. By the way, New Jersey, this is why I love it. You don't have to pump your own gas.
No, you don't.
You don't have to pump your own gas. Full serve still in effect in New Jersey. Go Jersey.
That's
Go
right.
Jersey, but sanitize that credit card when you use it. Robert Sinclair, you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. You do the same. And please remember safety. Don't drink and drive. Wear the seatbelt and obey speed limits.
Absolutely. All good advice there, Robert. Thank you.